Hey there, my name is Dustin Rhodes. No, not him. Him! And I'm here to talk to you about a Chinese emperor named Qin Shi Huang, or other known as Zhang. Zhang was born on the 7th of February, 260 BC. His father's name was Zhuang and his mother's name was Zhao, I think. Now I probably know what you're thinking.
Wow, this is boring.
But just wait till I get to the good part. After his father died as king, it led 13-year-old Zhang to the throne. Zhang was still very young, so Liu Bui acted as the prime minister of the state of Qin. Qin was still in major war with 6 other states, so as King Zhang grew older, he and his troops conquered many. They then came to the state of Yan. It was small and weak, not standing a chance against the state of Qin. So Prince Dan of Yan came up with an assassination attempt to kill Zhang. So they decided to put a fake gift to the king, hiding a secret dagger inside. Jin Qi and his partner both bought the presents. The fake presents. Qing Weiyong was going to be the first to present the gift, but failed, being too scared to pull out his dagger. So Jin Qi brought both the gifts. When inside, he pulled out his dagger. Now, the guards weren't allowed to carry any weapons, so it was just him and Zhang. Jing attempted to stab at him and missed. Zhang then pulled out his sword and sliced his thigh. Zhang looked up and then knew he and his partner were both in big trouble. 5 years later, the state of Yan was captured. The second assassination attempt was made from a man named Gao Jianli. He was a deep friend of Jin Qi's and wanted to avenge his death. Zhang, hearing his majestic flute playing, ordered him to play his flute. But before he even got there, a guard told of Gao Jianli's true identity, so they took out his eyes. But even then, he still played, but with lead in his flute. As Zhang moved closer to get a better listen of the music, Gao felt the movement and took a swipe. He missed and was later executed for his deeds. In 230 BC, King Zhen unleashed his final attacks to conquer the remaining kingdoms, one by one. Han was the first to crumble. Then Zhao, then Shu, then finally the state of Qi. Now, all of China was united under one merciless leader's rule. He then made a complicated system of dividing China. Too long for me to explain in this video. His third assassination attempt was put into action in 230 BC, right after defeating Han. An aristocrat from Han named Zhang Liang swore revenge on the Qin Emperor. He sold all his valuables in 218 BC to hire a strongman assassin. He even built him a heavy cone with a weight of 120 jin, approximately 160 pounds. The two of them hid in the bushes and waited for a carriage. The assassin, seeing the carriage, had thrown the cone and shattered it. But the emperor was actually in the second carriage, specifically if this exact event had happened. Even after being strongly pursued, the two men had escaped. Now, I'm sure most of you have heard of the Great Wall of China, right? Well, while fighting nomadic tribes to the north and northwest, the Xiongyi tribes, I don't know how to pronounce that, were a part of the problem. It was hard to defeat these tribes, so just for protection, the emperor ordered for a giant wall to be built, specifically the Great Wall of China. It connected numerous walls from different states. Hundreds of thousands of men were mobilized, and too many to count died. Still today, the wall stands, still open to the public. Now, 9 years later, in 211 BC, a large meteor is rumored to have fallen in Dongzheng, in the lower parts of the Yellow River. There were inscribed words from an unknown person saying, "The first emperor will die and his land will be divided." The emperor then sent a secretary to find whoever wrote these inscriptions. When no one stood up to his or her actions, they killed everyone living in the area. The stone was burned and pulverized. Later, an unknown cause killed the emperor on a tour of eastern China. 2 months later, it was said he died of mercury pills, even though the pills were meant to make him immortal. Li Si, the prime minister, was afraid that if the news came out that emperor was dead, there would be an uproar, and they wouldn't be able to make it to Xinjiang to protect the uproar. Only 5 or 6 people knew of the death. He put 2 rotten fish carts next to the cart to block out the smell. Food was even brought in and out of his cart just to give the impression that the emperor was still alive. Much time after his death, on March 29th, 1974, 2 farmers were looking for a place to dig a well, but found a terracotta man instead, just lying in the ground. The farmers alerted some archaeologists who, after much time of digging, found a giant terracotta army with soldiers, horses, weapons, etc. According to historians, the army was built not much after Zhang was placed on the throne. The story of the army itself is much too large for this video though, so I'm just gonna have to end it there.